Yeah, MPL making their way through. I personally just want to go see Sentinels running around, mopping the lobby up, and just dominating like they were before. But we'll see what type of zone it is. Every zone is a little bit differently, and sometimes you have to play accordingly as we see what type of loot Nestle Pure Life is going to get. Dracos and his team obviously landing over towards Lava Fissure, not going to rock double flatline throughout the entire time. So he's going to be looking for something a little bit better and some armor along the way. But we should definitely take a look at some of these 50-50s that have been happening. We know that Intel is going at it most likely with Team Cheez It. We should check on their armors as well and see what's going on. If we could also get a scan on the zone, that'd be awesome. But there's the landing spots coming through, and looks like Six is going to do some zoning with some barrels there and be as annoying as possible. They do spot one player out over towards this building, and it looks like pings are going down that they want to focus this player, and finding a massive off the rip is absolutely huge.
Yeah, he goes for the quick peek instantly into the elevator shaft now as they are tossing things around. Six drops down to the low as they are getting ready. Panderz did get hit by caustic gas. There we go. Six gets the first knock. Prodigy aces down, and he wants to secure that. Keeps the door open with the barrel. Finds a small angle through the shelves with that massive and backs away. He needs the rest of his squad here. They will be able to get the kill onto Prodigy aces, and if he wants to, it looks like no armor was there for Prodigy aces for Six to really swap off onto. So now it's going to be the 2v3 here in Lava City throughout this. Now Rakinishu is back, and so no Murdog to clutch up. But Rakinishu in his own right has been a stellar player throughout Series E, Season 1 and Season 2 so far. Still though, you're playing with a numbers disadvantage. You gotta have really, you don't really have much in the tank as well with the P2020 on Joey Blackout.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be looking to take this fight at all. And you have Mozambique Scout in the back pocket for Rakinishu. So checking the bottom floor of one building, and you get Gray Armor and Mastiff for 6. That's better than both of these players end up having combined. So not super ideal. Is another not ideal situation is Nestle Pure Life on their rotation. Pretty early rotation, 145 gets caught out over towards the side. Dracos gets hit with an arc star. The frag grenade's going to be there to follow as well. That calls for an immediate bubble, but look how close that other team is. They're interested in pushing immediately. It's going to be Navi flying into that bubble, taking down Bambino. They know that that player is weak as well from the grenade. Nice job. Good push coming from Navi.
Yeah, and it looks like we are having the finish of that fight. Intel, we're able to get Joey Blackout, and Rakinishu is the only one alive at this point. He's going to try and heal up. The gravity lift has been used. The movement's too good. Coming out from Horizon, Panderz will finish him off with that alternator. We're down to 18 squads left. Want to talk about that Navi versus NPL fight that was that keeps taking place, but never mind. Here's Rockstar coming in for the third party, and Strafe does get one throughout all of this. He's trying to get this thirst here for that armor swap at the very least, but where's the rest of Team Rockstar? Here they are, right on top of him for now. Trying to get the high ground. Tech is here, swing out from Strafe as the shots don't connect for Tech. And they're not going to chase after him. They're going to focus on, of course, securing that banner and getting Crummy back into this game. Ooh. Trying to get that thirst, and here comes a third party from Liquid. And so Tech, that was a great call coming out from Rockstar. Instead of chasing after and getting punished, they're going to be able to secure at least a kill and then go back and get the res.
Yeah, Team Liquid doesn't realize the situation where it's just a two-man squad. Otherwise, they'd be going pushing that one. So a little bit of misread on the kill feed overall. But playing it safe and focusing on rotation is never really a bad idea either way. And like you said, it's going to be good for Rockstar to be able to get back into that one, because that's one of the things where you want to get lucky sometimes. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a break in these really tough lobbies just to get things going when it hasn't been going your way. Team Pringles rotates over towards one of those popular beacon buildings as Team Applejacks finds themselves in a little bit of fight. Snipe Down gets into a knock in a fight with Team Pringles, as it's going to be a 2-for-2 right now. And Applejacks gets sent on. The hipfire coming through with the scout is not going to be enough. Cooler with another clean team fight as Reps and Snipe Down get back into it. And we do have a switch there. It is going to be Hal switching it up to Gibraltar instead of Caustic. So things you love to see. I think that Hal is going to be able to have much more success on this.
And it'll allow them a lot more defensive plays as well. We have an idea of where the ring is going. Let's go ahead and pull up the full map if we can. We're already down to 15 squads, by the way. 44 players remaining here. as ring one is still closing, and here it is. And so it looks like it's pulling over to countdown. It's probably pulling over to the cars that Cooler are currently playing right now. So they're playing the northeast side of countdown and also have this entire north side with the mountain to their back, controlling all the way over to this car. And that's the position. That's probably the winning position for this. I'd be surprised if this circle did pull down towards like train yard or something. We might have a fight between Third Impact, Team Pop-Tarts, I believe, taking place over at Epicenter very shortly throughout all of this. We'll find out in just a moment. It's Lonely fans actually that have control over the car. The hell?
And then Team Pop-Tarts is sitting over towards the top of Epicenter, waiting to get information. I am not quite sure what the plan is here. It looks like they are planning some sort of ambush, or is it just Impulse's lagged out?
I think Impulse might have just lagged out. All right, let's join on board with CLG, who've gotten a knock on to Nocturnal throughout all of this. And this game number 3, I guess all of our odd numbered games are going to be the fast ones and maybe the even ones, the slower ones.
It's a good theory. Also, let's see if we can tie into our ring theory as well. As looks like Hotsick is going to be knocked and finished off, but a grenade is going to be there to defend him just for a little bit, and I believe that portal is there too, so I think he was able to get back through there, and they're not going to let him survive. It looks like Zach Mason is going to go and take that one. Flanker's there with the flatline, however, and they have the cover as Hotsick did get finished off, but now it's a 2-on-2 situation. This Team Liquid's looking for some vengeance. This Thermite, let's see if it gets placed correctly. My Thermites never connect here, and it looks like Nocturnals doesn't either. They're going to go for this, though. Flanker's going to send. He's going to go and hit that scan as well. He's the hunt. Just went down. Nice hip fire there. Not going to land. You have Nocturnal flying in, but it's just a little bit staggered as he's just strafing back and forth over the replicator. The finish. Possible armor swap coming through as well. The armor swap doesn't connect, and the flank comes in from Naughty as well. There's the teamwork that you're looking for. Nice job by CLG.
Yeah. Almost getting punished for that little bit of BM onto Hotsick, but here we go. Yuki has found a knock onto Rice Krispie Treats Stunny, and then we'll be able to get the Thirst as well. Throughout all of that, though, looks like Nasky goes down. GS Bird, Lonely fans getting involved in this fight from the long range, but it's Team Rockstar fighting over by Countdown. They've got a team ahead of them, and they've already used their ports. Looks like high ground, low ground control for them as the nade spam do come out. Crummy and Tech start pushing up as Matt Pickett throws in the artillery. The defensive bombardment is going to go down to stop this push. And so Rockstar will just bide their time as they have to be careful. Tech getting flanked from the right-hand side. He does drop down onto the low, and his port has already gone down, so he will have a little bit of difficulty pushing to the high. That might be this full team pushing onto them now, but no, they're still playing this cautiously, are not overextending here. So maybe Matt Pickett and Crummy did enough damage to force them back at the time being, as Crummy right there at the door tries to find an opening. He will have a swing on from the right-hand side. The bubble has been used by that Gibraltar as well. Matt Pickett now forced to heal up, going for that peak. Crummy is down to 1 HP. He has a gravity lift to take to the skies now, and he will just heal mid-air. Gets that bat off as he now preps that med kit. Has to be careful. Rejoin his squad. Luckily for him, he does not get staggered because of the passive of Horizon. And this is just back to the neutral game now for Team Rockstar. A lot of utility has been used throughout this fight, Tom, with nothing really coming of it.
Yeah, they need to find some sort of infiltration, and it has to end up being Tech here because he's going to be the one that's going to be able to queue away. Looks like he's going to elect to queue in, so I love this play coming in. He's just going to initiate the fight immediately. You know that they have the advantage here. There's the full set. Even if he gets knocked, they should be okay. Kenny should be able to hit a battery in that bubble, but instead it's a flank through instead, and Rambo's there. Pickett with the flank, and this 2 versus 1 is not looking good for Matt Pickett. This was a 2 versus 3 originally, and it looked great for Team Rockstar, but the timing was just not there.
Yeah, the timing and just not enough damage, unfortunately, for them. So Matt Pickett will be forced to rat this one out. 13 squads, 35 players remaining. It looks like Rice Krispie Treats as well throughout all of this got taken out by Cooler. So as we still have 50 seconds before the ring starts closing at this point, a lot of teams down. We're down to 13 squads. Matt Pickett looking for possibly an attempt to try and run in. Rez is there as well, and he cannot do anything about it as the banners are getting camped. maybe he does go for a last-ditch effort, but basically the banners are this game is nearly over for Rockstar. Matt Pickett, we'll see how long he can rat this one out for.
That was super unlucky for Matt Pickett. I mean, the timing just for 1 second means all of the world here. Let's see what's going on with TSM. As a nice burst initially comes in from Snipe Down. Let's see what Hal's going to do. If he wants to push in with a bubble, that could end up being pretty useful, as Kenny does get the finish onto Matt Pickett. So there's the fight for Team Rockstar going south immediately. That's going to be third impact going down. That's Zicky getting eaten alive by the defensive bombardment from Hal. Everybody on TSM still fairly healthy. Now third impact on the run over here, and that's another knock there with the Spitfire coming in from Hal and the finish too onto Balon G. So just as the last player alive for third impact is TSM getting the revenge from game number 2.
And you got to see the value of that scan coming out from the Bloodhound there. The right-hand flank coming in was caught on the scan. They held the angle, forcing it back, and they were able to just focus down the 2v3 or the 3v2 here. TSM instantly pivoting, defensive bombardment down on top of their building. They are able to make it to safety. Snipe Down is a little bit disconnected, but he is on that Wraith, and Hal will join him to back him up for now. As Reps is going to slow things down. It looks like it's just going to be a full reset on this building as the other team disengages.
Smart, because you don't know what type of third party is going to come on after that, and you don't know the type of talent that's inside of this building right now. As TSM having their best game so far, I think they had 4 points overall from the first 2 games, and you can see Hal with just 3 on his own with the kills that he has. As Team Pop-Tarts understands the situation, tough rotation to get into fragments, so you got to bust your Q out right there if you're Lucas and try to find some loot on the way. It looks like they're looking for some ammo and some extra healing there too. As Team Razor in a skirmish, Hakulo takes a lot of damage, has a decent setup, but he takes flesh damage as well, which is not good. That's typically when teams push. So Muffins is going to elect to go and take that defensive bombardment out, use that one. Monsoon also uses the portal so they can get Hakulo back to safety and get him some more loot. So unfortunate that they had to use some resources right there, but keeping your Bloodhound alive is absolutely crucial. And this team is not missing their shots. Team Razor is not someone that's typically running away from a fight, but the pressure is so much. It looks like it's a team like Sentinels.
Yeah, and Hakulo is stuck in the middle of the street right now, as Muffins does have that high ground, and Hakulo is able to rejoin the squad. But Monsoon is taking so much damage. It's going to be CLG actually coming in with the flank. Muffins not able to get the big damage out, as Hakulo does answer back. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Naughty will be able to clutch this one up, and he will get the res onto the CLG squad. Razor going down in 11th place.
That's what it's like when you're playing against pro players. That's what it looks like, just like that. And you know what it looks like after that fight? Just like this. More teams coming in to try to clean it up as you're down a player after you just got done doing a great job. But that is a knock by Naughty, finishing how he finished that last fight. Vaxon's gonna have to hit that battery. Naughty's still fairly healthy, but he's reloading in the middle of that. Takes about 150 damage now. Gonna have to back off at the battery on his own. Vaxon now in a tough situation as Yuki comes through with the flank in the R3L1. I like this crawl up coming in from Naughty. He also takes some shots from the back, realizing that he's just going to jump back down and immediately getting taken out. It's going to be Team Cooler with the well-timed third party onto CLG.
Yeah, we're now down to 9 squads, 24 players remaining. Looks like Cooler might be committed to having to push out through that connecting tunnel on the southeast side of Skyhook. Don't know how much of the northwest side is open here, but I'd be surprised if any team is camping in that in this late of the game with so few teams alive. Blueberry Smalls on the Tomcat Rat Cam. Let's go ahead and swap off to see who else is still alive here. We have 9 other squads to look in.
Who's getting into some good spots? It looks like Noko Puffs and his squad is going to be in a decent position. Tanner switching off the Bloodhound, going with Wraith, so they're going with a little bit more aggressive composition. I do like this coming in for Team Noko Puffs, and let's see if this zone ends up pulling directly towards them, because if it does, it's going to be one of the best spots in the game. 303 still posturing and fighting over towards this respawn building where we saw the beacon building, excuse me. We saw TSM locked down before. We'll see if this is still TSM in the area.
Yeah, we do have to beast the hunt as well as the zone is closing on in. So great timing from Bambino. Has the funnel as well as this team tries to push up, but the third party is punishing him for now. TSM have taken some damage, but Snipe Down will back off to pop that bat for the time being. The defensive bombardment doing a lot here as Hal is able to pick off 2 from 303, and TSM largely unscathed throughout all of this. Hal It's forced the bat one more time, but they will be able to deal with 303. They need to tuck themselves into this corner here. As you can see, the long-range third parties coming in, poking away. They have a lot of cover now. As you can see, the ring now continuing to pull away. So that car position that we saw Lonely fans in earlier on, that's where the ring will continue to pull.
Yeah, this is a good position for TSM to be, though. That's why they were locking this down. They knew the rotation was going to be fairly easy. Always keeping your back towards the zone is a good play. The scout in the hands of Snipe Down 2. We talked about this before, where this is what they were lacking. They were lacking some long-range poke to bully teams off of their spot and also to force teams to go and use the resources towards the tail end of the game. So I love this switch-up coming in from Snipe Down. The only thing you're missing here is a Mastiff, but you can definitely count on Hal or definitely Reps to have one here, if not both of them in their back pocket. A couple yeet of some healing coming on over for TSM too, and this is going to be easy for them to kind of make their way up. Expect a portal play coming in from Snipe Down, but until then, they're just going to sit there trying to bully teams with this long-range poke.
Yeah, they might be running into Cooler here. As you can see, the ping's going down onto the tunnel, and I believe that is Cooler just at the mouth of the cave. And so this is going to be a pretty tough fight.
As below the sniper pole.
And yeah, dealing with the team that's over on Sniper Pole as well, as it looks like they will be able to slide in safely. That team on top of Sniper has gone down. Take a look at the position coming out. No scans quite yet coming out from Reps. There it is. The jig is up. They have full scan Cooler here as Snipe Down with the left side peek. Does some decent damage with that G7 Scouts. Will give them pause for the time being. A Horizon tries to scout it out and gets tagged twice by Snipe Down. And so TSM are just locking this position.
when the horizon's in the air and you're lining up your shots, don't even do it. Just close your eyes, maybe sneeze, click a couple times if you're using mouse and keyboard, just pull that right trigger and you see where your shots go. Horizon's so annoying when she's in the air. I'm not quite sure how these players are able to connect on any of those shots, but I do like this coming in for TSM. This is a very aggressive play. The scans are fairly useful, but this fight is going to go down, and once this happens, not only do you have to win this fight, you have to fend off the rest of these players and teams that are coming afterwards.
Yeah, the round is closing, or the ring is closing now, and really have no other option except to push forward. You can see it's Pop-Tarts that have the position here on the southeast side on the sniper post and such, but their attention is pulled over towards Countdown, where a lot of fighting is taking place for the time being. A defensive bombardment goes down, and Impulse is looking for any angle. There is, it looked like a drone in place. Defensive bombardment going down on top of TSM. Bubble has been used as well. Pop-Tarts now fully focusing on the northeast side as they're trying to find any kill here. Season in a fight here, as it looks like the Black Hole did go down on them. Rambo will fall as New King picks that one up. But the fight up top, it's going to be Intel to get the knock onto Imperial Hal. And now looks like TSM, every TSM member is getting punished here. Tanner even going down as well.
Yeah, Tanner's like, I wasn't involved in this one. Why me? Pop-Tarts does take this high ground back, though, and ends up being the best position for them. And that's why I was thinking the best spot for TSM to be would be underneath this sniper pole. It's a very easily played spot. I've even faced TSM in tournaments when they take this lower spot and they're just a handful to have to just worry about when they're below you. They're chucking grenades up. You don't know how much healing they have. And they just sit there and strafe back and forth as they just poke shots up at you. But instead, it's Team Pop-Tarts with free reign over here, just laying shots down. And it's very rare for a team to be up here and have tons of loot like they do. 211 shots in this 30-30. Stomps is going to be able to rip players across the map.
Yeah, and the poll is just slightly in as well. It's Team Intel that are in this fight right now, as Plane does answer for one, but Panderz and 6 are still up. They're going to pop that res to get Metro back into this, and you can see 6 holding the angle to their east. We're down to 4 squads, 10 players remaining. Would like to check in with Cooler to see what happened there for them. I know that I believe Nasky is still alive at the very least throughout all of that. And yeah, they are still up as a full 3. So that means we do have a rat. So it's a 3v1 right now, as Nasky throwing down that defensive bombardment on top of Pop-Tarts as they are forced out. It's Team Lonely Fans as Blueberry Small is the only one alive. He doesn't have any armor as well. He's going to try and sneak his way underneath this tower, and he will be able to get in, just barely riding the edge, using that Q to avoid a lot of that damage, and tucks himself into a corner.
This is the spot to play, in my opinion, especially if you're going to be a rat. So nice job by Blueberry Smalls, again, taking another position that was completely left open by all of these pro teams. And this is one of those spots where you can really end up getting fairly far, and a lot of wins come from the holding this bottom area too, because everyone that has to drop down from the height ends up getting a little bit of that gun punch, which is Horizon's passive, which makes her so useful in a lot of different situations. Speaking of Horizon, we do have Intel getting the furthest. We've seen them in quite some time, so let's see if they're going to be able to finish off fresh off their 50-50 win over towards Lava City as well. Now Team Pop-Tarts, looks like they're just taking it easy. Looks like a couple of them are running a little low on ammo. Probably have to share a little bit of that ammo for Impulse there, Stomps.
Yeah, I mean, you got the flatline. Allow the flatline to really just rip there. Plenty of ammo on the R301, but it's Team Intel who have the positioning. They're playing inside the car. They've got their caustic barrels out as well. 6 still holding on to 2, and so he can try to use that to control the fences a little. Maybe he's just waiting until the zone starts closing up. They do have, of course, Panderz on that horizon, so he could even yeet the barrels over using the QQ combo to get the barrels a little bit further in as well. Haven't really been seeing much of that. I would love to see if teams could utilize that, especially here in the late game.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would love to see that too. But I think that Intel, by far, when you look at the positioning from everybody, has the best spot exactly for that reason right there. They get the knock on to Stomps. This zone is closing, so he's going to have to now force to use his bubble so he full heals. And probably should have bubbled on the ground and a little bit more in front of him, because he's got to advance. They have to kill this rat. Does get the armor swap off there, but this is what we were anticipating. You have Cooler over towards the side shooting. You're going to have Intel focusing on them as well. And then Pop-Tarts will get eliminated. It'll be a straight 3v3 between Intel and Team Cooler.
Yeah, we'll see Black Hole being used as well. The bubble is still there, though, and so they haven't been able to combo that one up. Defensive bombardment has gone down, it seems like, and the bubble will be used on the other side as Intel are going to try and fight inside. Panderz with the PK gets double knocks, and it will be Team Intel taking out Cooler. Here comes Pop-Tarts for the third party, but how long can Intel survive for? Getting massively. Pop-Tarts don't have that much HP, but they have taken out 6. Panderz is the only one alive, and Pop-Tarts will take game number 3.